So thank you for being here. Do take your comfortable seat as you know it to be. You're welcome to close your eyes and let your attention come in. You've arrived for your practice, which is a beautiful dedication already. With respect for this dedication, lengthen up through your spine. Let your heart and your mind be gently a bit more alert. And welcome your breath to drop down into your lower pelvis. Let's imagine that when the breath goes down into the low pelvis and the belly, the fire that you're fanning, the flame of the fire that you're fanning, is at the third chakra. That place where if you inhale smoothly and exhale smoothly, you kind of act like the bellows in slow motion. The bellows they once used to stoke the fire in the fireplace, but right now in slow motion. And you can picture the fire of the third chakra as the flame of dedication. So listen to the breath with the inner ear. Sense your breath down in the pelvis and the deep abdomen. And that you get to collaborate with how this fire shows up in your body, what we're calling the fire of dedication. We want the bellows of the breath to be smooth from the beginning to the pause, and from the beginning to the pause, whether it's inhale or exhale. You want that to be consistent velocity, consistent pace, consistent tone. So notice how the fire in the belly is responding. And then you can imagine that we're gathered here together, and the other fires in the community are also being lit. They're also brightening up right now. Join your hands together at your heart. And let's chant Sahana Vavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu together. Let's begin. Sahana Vavatu, Sahanao Bhunaktu, Savidyam Karavavai, Tejasvinavaditamastu, Ma Virveshavai. Sahana Vavatu, Sahanao Bhunaktu, Savidyam Karavavai, Tejasvinavaditamastu, Ma Vidveshavai. Sahana Vavatu, Sahanao Bhunaktu, Savidyam Karavavai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma vidveshavahai. Om Shanti Om. Shanti Shanti Om. As you exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. And release your hands. Please place your hands out over your knees and kind of cup your kneecaps with your fingers. So that's a firm hold, straighten your arms. And with the Ujjayi breath, try to sense the inhale that supports the fire at the third chakra, but then that fire comes up to light the heart. Open your throat. You may lift your gaze. And then exhale, a smooth Ujjayi exhale as you round your spine into cat pose. And inhale, roll the pelvis, low belly, mid-abdomen, heart, throat, eyes. Exhale, curl down into your cat pose spine. Contract the low belly. Inhale to roll up. And exhale to curl down. Once more, please. Inhale, roll through, rise up, look up. Exhale, curl down and in. Contract the low belly. And then roll up to your seat and sit really still for a moment. To give a little more fire to the belly, a little bit more robustness, place your hands on your shoulders. This is going to be a strong exhale out the nose. Hopefully my earbuds will stay in. We're going to be going side to side with a strong exhale like this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, come to center. Inhale, lower, middle, upper, and hold the breath at the top. With the suspension of the inhale, snug the low belly in and up, like you're taking that fire at the solar plexus and gently brightening the heart. And then release the exhale slowly and completely, contracting the low belly at the end of the exhale. And then relax into receiving the next in-breath. Let's repeat that. Place your hands on your shoulders. Strong exhale out the nose. Five, four, three, two, one. Come to center. Inhale again, lower, middle, upper, and hold the breath at the top. And then slowly exhale out through the nose. Make a complete exhale so you are contracting the low belly all the way at the end. And relax the low belly and receive the next inhalation. And try to picture in the calm that might come after inhale, suspension, exhale. What is the shape of the fire of dedication in the belly? Now we want to make good use of such fire. The fire in the doshas should not be used to burn ourselves or others, not to burn ourselves out, nor to cause the burning of bridges, but a fire of dedication instead. So please clasp your hands. And let's inhale now, Ujjayi, lower belly, mid belly, the fire coming up to light the heart. Then open your throat and lift your gaze. Exhale, side bend to your left, tone the right low belly. Inhale up to center. Exhale, side bend to your right, tone the left low belly. Inhale up to center. Look up, please. Exhale, bend your elbows, squeeze your hands down behind your head so the pinkies are at the base of the skull. Inhale, elbows forward and up. Exhale, rotate to your right, bring the left elbow forward, right elbow high. Come back to center. The pinkies at the base of the skull. Let's go left. Right elbow goes forward, left elbow goes up. Come back to center. Now pressing up and gaze up. And then reaching out. Let the fire of the inner body encompass your whole practice. Rest your hands out over your knees. And so check now the shape of the fire in the belly. The fire of dedication. Now we're going to come up to standing, please. So let me get the proper camera. Yeah, please rise up to stand. There's one of your teachers today. One of my hand muffs. What do you call those things? When you're going to warm your hands up with something? Mittens. One of my mittens. Okay, so rise up to standing. Place your feet at the width of your yoga mat. Toes turned out, knees a little bit bent. It's called horse stance. You make two fists for swinging back, fingers for flying open. This is to toss off energy, the kind of energy that makes the fire of dedication actually more erratic and distractible. So it should help us to ultimately focus, but at first we're tossing off. So swing your fists back and your fingers forward with a brisk inhale and exhale through the nose. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, as you inhale, raise the arms up. And exhale, side bend to your left. Inhale, rise up. Side bend to your right, tone the left low belly. Inhale, rise up, full length of the spine. And exhale, bend your knees and come down like a rag doll, forward bend. So put your body weight into your heels with the knees bent and the hips slightly back behind your plumb line. Let the torso cascade over your thighs. Just go inside again and ask, like, what is the shape of the fire of dedication now? Bring your hands up to your knees, press down against both knees, drop the tailbone down, rise up to standing. When you first come up, simply step into mountain pose. To check again now, if there was a shape to the fire, if there was a brightness to your inner fire, to your dedication, what is that like now? Remind yourself that the source of that fire is much bigger than you are. Okay, I'd like you to take one of the long folded blankets. It's okay if it's folded differently, but please take one of these to put at the front of your mat. It's really going to be there just for your heels. Let me change the angle of my camera slightly so you'll see where my feet are going to be. Let's see if I can get that. It might be as much as I have, so I'll back the blanket up a little bit. So I'd like you to put your heels on the blanket and then make your feet a little bit wider than hip distance. So we're going to do chair pose like this, and that means that chair pose gets to become squatting pose like this, and then it will be chair pose again, then you'll be coming upright again. Okay, so please bring your hands together at your heart. So the fire in the belly it's for digestion of food and thoughts and emotions, but it's also a kind of fire, like you keep a little flame going for this dedication to your path and your practice. So with the Ujjayi breath, make it very consistent now. And let's inhale the hands down, wide. Rise up, please. And then exhale, bend your knees and sit down to chair pose. Inhale in chair pose. And then exhale and come down to squatting without sitting on your cat. Inhale back up to chair pose, please. Exhale in chair pose and try to sense the tone you need in the low belly for the chair pose. And then inhale, rise up. I do trim the nails of the cats. So just so you guys know, I'm not actually getting clawed right now. I don't need Band-Aids. Okay, let's repeat that. Inhale, upward hands pose. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale in your chair pose. Now exhale, keep the knees lined up with the toes and come down to your squat. Inhale, rise up to chair pose. Press into your heels, not just your toes. Exhale, enjoy the chair pose, the tone of the belly into the mid-torso. And then inhale, rise up, upward hands pose. And exhale, let's go down to uttanasana. And since you have the blanket here, just take your feet right behind the blanket so your toes are up and your heels are down. And inhale, glide your heart forward. And exhale to bow deeply. I know your calf muscles are getting a bigger stretch right now. Inhale the heart forward. Exhale, bow deeply one more time, and use the bowing of the torso to the thighs to make it a really complete exhalation. And then inhale, rise up. You are having your toes on a blanket right now. Hopefully you'll keep your balance. And exhale, step a half step backwards into your mountain pose. And notice your body temperature as you come into mountain pose. We'll take it to the full Surya Namaskar now. We're going to use a kind of Rishikesh version of Surya Namaskar. So I'm going to recommend that you put this blanket to be there for your knees in the pose called Asana. And let's take 2 blocks, please, at the front of your mat. So more commonly, at least my own experience, more commonly do I see Asana in Rishikesh versus someplace like Mysore. Just happens to be my own experience. So join your hands at your heart. In the spirit of supporting that inner fire, we'll keep the breath smooth and consistent. Let's inhale, hands down, wide and up. Exhale, chair pose as you normally would. Inhale, rise up, press down into your heels and toes. You can gaze up. Exhale, sweeping wide, come down to uttanasana, please. Inhale, glide forward. Exhale, left toes back and left knee down to the blanket. Inhale, rise, Asana. Now we're going to exhale to plank pose. So you take the entire exhale to get to plank pose, stepping over your little speed bump, the blanket. Inhale, downward facing dog pose. And exhale, left foot forward, stepping over the speed bump, touch your right knee down. Inhale, Asana. And exhale, as you descend, step into plank pose, arriving in plank at the end of the exhale. Inhale, downward facing dog pose. Then exhale, right foot forward, left foot forward, uttanasana, which you are completing on that one exhale. Inhale, rise up, upward hands pose. Exhale, hands to the heart. Continuing, inhale, upward hands, Urdhva Hastasana, utkatasana, chair pose. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Keep your legs toned, the breath patient. Complete the exhale. Inhale, glide forward. Exhale, right toes back and right knee down. Inhale, Asana. And exhale, arms wide, step into plank pose. Inhale, downward facing dog, a full breath cycle in. Exhale, right foot forward, left knee down. Inhale, Asana. Exhale, descend and step into plank pose with one continuous exhale. Inhale, downward facing dog. And then exhale, left foot forward, right foot forward, a complete exhalation in Uttanasana. Rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. Hands to the heart. 2 more. Here we go. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, heart forward. Left toes back, left knee down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Left foot forward, right knee down. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, right foot, left foot, uttanasana. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Right toes back, right knee down. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Right foot forward, left knee down. Breathe in. Breathe out. We're going back to plank. Breathe in. Left foot, right foot, uttanasana. Rising up. And then to the heart. Now when you put the palms together at the heart, let's picture the shape of the fire that's in the belly. And then a very small flame, like a little candle, in the center of the palms. The place where the palms don't touch. The light of the heart, the fourth chakra, is supported by, nourished by, the fire of the third chakra. So picture the shape of the fire of dedication and sense the quality of light in the tiny candle flame at the heart. And please take a wide stance on your mat. You don't need the blanket. In this wide stance, we're going to do a little bit of work with the hips and the pelvis. Let's take the 2 blocks and stretch out the hands, please, like we did on, I think it was Wednesday, but it could have been yesterday. So here in a position like this, you're going to have the advantage of the torso being slightly inverted. So check now the feeling tone of the Ujjayi breath moving through the body. And the feeling tone of the exhale. Particularly, I want you to notice when the exhale goes slowly from the pubic bone to the perineum. And then the inhale begins at the perineum and moves towards the tailbone. Now, keeping the arms outstretched like this, turn your right toes slightly out, bend your right knee, and make the left leg strong. Notice that as you bend the right knee wants to point in line with the third toe. If you kept your hands where they were, you now have a side bend on the right side of the torso. Inhale, press into your right heel, rise up to center. Exhale, go to your left. Turn the left toes slightly out. So this will be easier on your knee and your ankle. Inhale, rise up to center. Exhale, go right, please. Stay for the in-breath. Stay for the out-breath, pressing the right knee open. Inhale, rise to center. Exhale, glide to your left. Press into your left heel. Keep the right leg strong and toned. And stay through one full breath cycle. Inhale, rise to center. One more time, right. Notice the temperature of the legs, the tone of the breath. Inhale, rise up. Also observing the quality of dedication in the mind. Exhale, glide to your left. And then inhale, rise up to center. Make the feet parallel once again. Walk your hands back towards your hips. Rise up to standing. Step the feet to mountain pose. And pause to notice how's your body temperature going to kind of regulate itself into the various regions that the heart feels responsible for. Now we're going to come down to the floor, and I'd like you to sit on, if you have it available to you, 2 blankets. And I do prefer that they're folded lengthwise like this, the long, narrow blanket fold, like this. And if you sit, you have to decide based on the length of your thigh where to sit on the blanket, because I want us to take the right leg out to the side, but I want your knee to be supported by the edge of the blanket. So there's not going to be this question of whether you can hyperextend your leg because you've got the blanket under your knee all the way. So we've got a higher seat to start on. The left leg is here in janu sirsasana. Both hips are on the blanket, but your right leg cannot hyperextend itself. Yeah. Okay, and let's keep the right hip grounded and start with the hands coming forward, directly forward. This is a little bit like around the world, which we talked about. I think that must have been on Wednesday. So keeping the right leg steady and the left shin grounded, draw your hips back and down to the blanket and walk your hands a tiny bit from the straight on position. Let's call that north. And you're going north and a tiny bit west. And keep the hips moving back towards the blanket and walk a little bit more northwest. Keeping the left shin grounded. Walk again a tiny bit more northwest west. And again, keeping the left shin grounded, walk one more time northwest west west. So this is a downward and inward pose, but it's also influencing the circulation in your legs right now. Press down through your left shin, please. Reach both sitting bones back into the blanket. Firm the muscles of your right leg. And then walk the blocks back where you happen to be facing. So stay on the same kind of angle with the compass, but as you walk back now, we have to bring the torso upright to make the final turn. So you're gonna rotate now from the belly and the pelvis to come across and place the blocks to bookend or bracket your right foot. Those of you who'd like to could reach the left fingers to hold the right big toe. So this pose, because we started with the left knee and shin out to the side, this is really a parvrtta, a turning, a revolving of the belly. So there is a forward bend, a twist, and a side bend. And walk the blocks back upright. You can bring them inside where you started. And let's bring the right leg into sirsasana. And just check and see how you're feeling. Maybe you're feeling crooked or, not symmetrical. Maybe one side of the body feels like alive and fluid and unctuous. The other side might feel like a little bit more restricted. The energy was being shortened on the right side of the torso and opened on the left side. So let's take the left leg now out to the side so that your left knee is at the edge of the blankets and that you won't be able to hyperextend your left knee. And the right leg, I'll just show it is out to the side and the shin, we hope, is on the floor. And we will start by coming straight away forward. And do try to keep your left hip, both hips on the blanket. The left one's gonna feel like a little bit lighter perhaps, but I do want you to dedicate also to the left leg. Squeeze the thigh muscles there and keep your left toes pointing straight up towards the ceiling. So if we say that we're reaching to the north right now, we're gonna make just a tiny movement to the east. So north with a little bitty bit of east. Add a little bit more east. So it's north, east, east. Keep your hips back on the blanket. You may notice there's some deliberate effort required in that. And then we go northeast, east, east, the third step. Press your right shin firmly down. Keep the left hip anchored to the blanket. And your left leg muscles energized. We could even say enthused. Go one more time to the east. So northeast, east, east, east. Start to walk your hands back so that what you're going to end up with is first sitting upright, facing northeast, east, 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 and then face to the east over your left leg, and you can kind of bracket or bookend. And we're going to be reaching in that direction. So those of you who are able to reach your toes on the other side, so I'm speaking about myself also right now, maybe you can't reach the toes on this side. So one thing that you might be learning is how asymmetrical you are. So some of these asymmetries are going to be in the rotation of the spine. So as you approach, this is called the second side of the pose, but try to treat each side with equal respect and appreciation. Continue breathing in and breathing out. And then walk your hands back. So you're coming upright facing to the east, but then come around to center. And let's put the left leg into sirsasana. Maybe this one left foot on the outside this time. And take your seat. And see if you can sense where in the body is that kind of unctuousness, the feeling of fluidity in the body. And we have our 2 blankets already folded. Let's make sure there's no unnecessary little wrinkles or bobbles there. And then we'll go to a pose that some of you have said, we hadn't practiced it much before, you hadn't done it before, but you found it to be delicious. So this is called supported fish pose. You're going to put one block where your shoulder blades will be. Put the other block at the ready to place under your head. You won't quite know where to put it. So what I recommend is that you sit in front of the 2 blankets. Lie back so that your upper back is on the block, the one that you put under the blanket. And then take the next block, place it first flat under the blanket, and then curl the blanket on top of that block to support your head. And bend your elbows and bring your forearms down towards the floor, palms face down. It may help to keep your hands steady if you sit on your thumbs and your index fingers. So I just moved my hands under my hips like that. And take the legs and stretch them out. Notice how your body is sort of regulating the elements right now between fire, water, and earth, air, and ether. Relax your shoulders and your upper arms, your elbows and forearms. Let the palms and your hips be grounded. Release the backs of your thighs and calves and heels into the floor. Now keeping your legs where they are, raise your arms momentarily up and overhead. Reach back to take the curl out of the blanket. Lay your head down on the block on the blanket, stretch the arms overhead. And then reach back to remove the second block that's under your head currently. And as the head goes back in fish pose, place your hands once more under your hips so the elbows are bent and they go down alongside the torso. Press the shoulders wide and down. The elbows and upper arms can be active. And then reach up to hold the back of your head. You can lift your head and look forward towards your toes. Roll up to sit. Take that block out from between the two blankets. Lie back and make a little curl for your neck. And then come to Shavasana with the palms face up. This is the most important physical pose in the practice, the pose of Shavasana. So if you watch your body recalibrating the 5 elements, that is earth, water, fire, air, and ether, that recalibration is really amazingly intelligent. I recommend that you rest into that recalibration, knowing that you don't have to make it happen. You're kind of in the audience of experiencing it. Allow your mind and your body to rest, knowing that this recalibration is going to happen on your behalf. The recalibration is nature moving through you. Just as when you see nature and you call it nature and you watch it moving through nature. So this is happening within your own body right now. Allow every part of you to rest. All regions of the body. the breath, your heart, all the activities of the mind. Allow the mind and the body together to surrender to the recalibration. The weight of the legs get deeper, like the earth element. The hips and pelvis release into the earth. Allow the same for the back of your knuckles, the forearms and elbows. Allowing the mind to stay at ease. With only one hand, reach up and take the curl out of the blanket. So when you lay your head back, you're going to sense the throat changes in shape and some warmth may move from the heart up into the back of your neck and the base of your skull. As you notice those things, the warming at the back of the neck especially. Now bend your knees and roll down to one side and rise up to your meditation seat. If you can stay aware of the temperature in the body, particularly how the fire went to brighten the heart, and then there was a little warmth that went up the back of the neck. Keeping the eyes closed and inward, imagine that you're gazing down towards the quiet brightness of the heart. But you know that that brightness depends on the fire of dedication and the fire of digestion. So the heart is not then carrying the residue of undigested food and emotions, nor is the solar plexus, nor the inner belly. Please bring your hands to your heart. The light of the heart, that which lights up this heart chakra, is also larger than we are. It hasn't left, it's not coming and going. It longs to shine through us like light through a kaleidoscope. But our awareness of it may fluctuate. So from the fire of dedication up to the inner lightness of the heart, may we remember this time we've shared on our yoga mats today. Thank you everyone for being here. Namaste. And I will come up to see you. All kitties are sleeping now. Mhm. You're welcome, Sarah. You're welcome. I'll change the camera view so you can see me better. So how is the fire in the heart? The little candle flame there. Okay, yeah. This quiet radiance. It doesn't need to announce itself or brag. It's like it's coming through us, like through a stained glass window. The stained glass window doesn't think of itself as the light. You're feeling relaxed